Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're cracking open a truly unique piece of work, Swami Chuckle's Comedy for the Recently Enlightened. Think of this as your survival guide. It's a satirical, but honestly profoundly accurate manual for anyone who has seen the light, touched the infinite universe, and now, well, absolutely will not shut up about it. If you've ever floated back from a meditation retreat feeling like a glowing being of pure energy, only to instantly get into a massive argument about doing the dishes, you're in the right place. So let's jump right into this brilliant paradox that perfectly nails the hilarious reality of modern spirituality. You know, we hold on to this myth that awakening somehow gets us out of regular life. But as Swami Chuckles points out, before enlightenment, you check your email and wonder about the meaning of life. After enlightenment, well, you know the meaning of life, but you still have to check your email, and you're definitely still wondering why your inbox is completely full. You don't just get to opt out of the mundane just because you've transcended the ego. Over the next few minutes, this explainer is going to be your grounding cord. We'll be hitting 5 key areas. First up, the post-awakening reality check. Second, navigating the whole spiritual industrial complex. Third, why we really need to stop blaming the stars for our problems. Fourth, the sacred art of flossing. And finally, the real dark night of the soul. All right, part 1, the post-awakening reality check. This is where cosmic consciousness meets capitalism. We're starting exactly where most spiritual books end, that super jarring first day after you come down from the mountaintop. Picture this timeline of your first 72 hours back in society. Hours 1 through 6, you're vibrating at a hummingbird frequency. The airport TSA line, literally beautiful, everyone is God. But then, hours 7 to 24 hit. You get home, and mild panic sets in as you stare at your beige IKEA furniture, realizing you are very much back in the Matrix. By hours 25 to 48, you're probably alienating your best friend by dropping the phrase non-dual awareness 3 times in a single minute. And then the crash. Hours 49 to 72. You open your laptop to 347 unread work emails. The infinite universe has officially collided with your limited PTO. Let's consider what Swami Chuckles calls the Slack koan. Imagine you get a passive-aggressive message from a coworker. The unenlightened response, you rage spiral into a total existential crisis. But the enlightened response, you take 3 deep breaths, you remember that everyone is fighting their own unseen battles, and you just respond professionally anyway. You see, while you might have totally transcended the illusion of the self, you definitely haven't transcended office politics. The mountain doesn't come to you. You've got to bring the mountain's presence to your Tuesday afternoon spreadsheet. Moving right along to part 2, the spiritual industrial complex. We're talking gurus, crystals, and some very expensive placebos. The second you wake up, you suddenly have to navigate this massive wellness industry that is absolutely desperate to monetize your new awareness. So you've got to watch out for these red flags, because it is shockingly easy to project authority onto someone just because they use a Sanskrit-adjacent name. Listen, if your guru has trademarked a breathing technique, something humans have done for free for over 200,000 years, that's a huge red flag. If they talk about themselves in the third person, or sell quantum abundance courses, or claim they channel entities that somehow perfectly understand international tax law, yeah, they aren't offering enlightenment, they are offering a pyramid scheme with phenomenal branding. To actually survive out there, you have to learn to decode the marketing language. Let's break it down. When someone invites you to a container for transformation, guys, they just mean a Zoom meeting. An energy exchange, that's just a way of saying money because they feel kind of weird about capitalism. Sliding scale available usually means literally one spot is discounted while the other 49 are full price. And sacred business practices, that just means regular, everyday business practices, but they burned a little sage first. It's basically masking basic commerce behind a thick haze of mystical smoke. Knowing what you're actually paying for is absolutely crucial. Take this number, $135. That represents the exact price difference in a high-end shop between a $45 root chakra stone and a $180 root chakra stone. And the real difference between them? Literally just $135. It's a perfect example of how spiritual return on investment is often just a really expensive, aesthetically pleasing placebo effect. And honestly, relying on those expensive crystals can actually become a crutch that stops real growth. Like sure, you could drop $60 on a piece of black tourmaline to protect against negative energy, or you could try the free alternative, actually setting boundaries, saying no, and walking away from people who drain you. The crystal isn't the magic here. You are the magic. You're just using a $60 rock as a permission slip to do something you could have done for free. Which brings us to part 3, blaming the stars, Mercury retrograde and accountability. We all do this, right? We have this massive tendency to use celestial bodies as a cosmic get-out-of-jail-free card for our own messy behavior. We've all heard or used the astrology excuse. Oh, I'm not texting anyone back right now, Mercury is in retrograde. But if we strip that back to the honest version, it sounds way more like, I'm completely overwhelmed, I need some space, I have no idea how to communicate that, so I'm just going to avoid everyone. Astrology is supposed to be a tool for self-reflection, not a spiritual bypass so you don't have to take responsibility for ghosting your friends. We really need a reality check on what astrology actually cannot do. The planets can't make your decisions for you. They can't tell you if someone loves you. You actually have to use your words and ask them. Astrology doesn't replace real communication. It definitely doesn't excuse your bad behavior, and it absolutely does not do the hard work of self-knowledge for you. The stars are a beautiful map, sure, but they do not get a vote in your life choices. You're the one who has to show up.
All right, part 4, the sacred art of flossing, Zen and dental maintenance. This might actually be the profound climax of this entire explainer, finding the sacred in the utterly mundane. Because here is the ultimate spiritual test. Okay, you've experienced oneness with all that is. Amazing. But right now, you're sitting in a chair, you're slightly drooling, and Brenda, the dental hygienist, is asking if you've been flossing. You know you haven't. She knows you haven't. Can you reconcile your cosmic consciousness with this extremely awkward moment? Because enlightenment does not exempt you from the tedious daily maintenance of having a physical body. There is no graduation from being human.
It's all about learning to do ordinary tasks ordinarily, but with complete, absolute attention. Take the sacred dishwashing meditation. You feel the water on your hands and you realize, hey, this is the exact same water that's been cycling through the planet for billions of years. You notice your mind whining about doing chores, you clean the bowls, really recognizing them as the instruments of your survival. And you complete the cycle. Doing this proves that your messy kitchen sink is just as sacred as the Ganges River. You don't need to book a retreat. The ritual is already happening right in front of you. When you think about it, Brenda the hygienist is basically a bodhisattva, delivering the deepest dharma there is. She's teaching you that consistency matters way more than intensity. 30 seconds of super boring daily flossing completely baits one massive panic-induced cleaning right before your appointment. She teaches that prevention is always easier than the cure. And the biggest lesson? Life is simply maintenance, forever. Honestly, if you can't commit to 30 seconds of caring for your own teeth, how on earth are you going to commit to the hard, lifelong work of spiritual presence? Finally, part 5, the real dark night, Tuesday afternoon versus the ego's end. Let's get real for a second about the inevitable collapse of your carefully constructed spiritual identity. We've got to make a vital distinction between a genuinely transformative dark night of the soul and, well, just having a cranky Tuesday afternoon. If you're annoyed because your coffee is cold and everything just feels too difficult for an hour, you don't have a dark night of the soul. You just need a snack and a nap. A real dark night is years of meaninglessness. It's complete disillusionment where every single one of your spiritual tools just stops working, and the actual structure of your ego dissolves so something new can be built. It is not a poetic aesthetic for an Instagram post. It is the grueling, messy work of unmaking who you thought you were. And this leads us to Swami Chuckle's absolute best resolution to the most famous Zen koan of all time. What is the sound of one hand clapping? His answer? It sounds exactly like a single slice of wet, vegan bologna slapping against a cold linoleum floor at 3 a.m. while you're trying to quietly make a sad sandwich. Just thwack. It's a singular, wet, deeply disappointing sound. And that's the point. The ancient Zen masters weren't asking you to solve some floaty mystical riddle. They were forcing you to stop seeking grand cosmic answers and just sit with the hilariously disappointing reality of things exactly as they are. So, I'll leave you with this final provocation to chew on as we wrap up this explainer. You have to ask yourself honestly, are you genuinely looking for a spiritual identity? Or are you just using all these crystals, the astrology charts, and those expensive retreats to avoid doing your dishes? True enlightenment is never going to be found in escaping the mundane world or throwing money at expensive placebos. It is found in coming all the way back down the mountain, standing right at your kitchen sink, and finally washing those dishes while being fully, completely awake. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll catch you on the next one.